It is finally time to talk about Kriegsfront Tactics, except we're going to talk about the Prologue because that's what's out right now. I've been playing it for the last few days, and I've really enjoyed it. I've had my eye on Kriegsfront for, I don't know, since it was announced, and so I followed it through up to this point. Been excited about, they had a modeling demo where you just kind of got to see the visuals and the customization and stuff like that, and that was really cool. It was fun. But it wasn't a game. It didn't really tell us what the game was going to be like. It didn't tell us how good this game was going to be. And that is what I want to talk about. This game, I've been playing the Prologue for the past, maybe the last week or so, and it does a lot of things right. As somebody who enjoys challenging tactics-based games, XCOM, and I enjoy games like Darkest Dungeon, things that really, really work against you and make you respond as a player to horrible scenarios, and when there's lasting punishment that takes place and you're rewarded for smart moves and stuff like that. Kriegsfront nails this stuff. The general format of Kriegsfront, we'll talk about it. I'll play a random encounter behind me, so there's no spoilers or anything like that. The general format of Kriegsfront is, from what we can tell with the Prologue, is there's a campaign and a map, and you roll around the map, and you go to locations, and you avoid patrols, and you search these locations, and sometimes the locations will have ammunition at them, and you can restock your ammo, and this is an important thing we'll talk about in a second. And other times, maybe you will find parts at a location. Other times, you might get ambushed at an actual location. Other times, it's a garage where you can work on your mechs and repair them if you have the parts. And this is what matters. This is the thing I love about this game, is combat in the Prologue. And the Prologue is supposed to be a proof of concept and kind of a vertical slice where it gives you an idea of what the game is going to be like. The damage and your ammo supply carries over from combat to combat. And so you'll get in an encounter, and it will go very poorly. And it's not like XCOM or something like that, where encounter goes bad and then you get to go home and then you get to restock. If an encounter goes bad and you blow through your ammo, you've used all of your carpet bombs, and then you're picked up by a patrol. You don't have those bombs. Your ammo's gone. Hey, tough luck. You're gonna have to push enemies until they die. Combat decisions have lasting consequences, and it's really cool for that. So, this is where the high level of challenge comes into Kriegsfront. It is a game that rewards good decisions, rewards correct choices made in combat that will get you to your next fight. You're always having to think about your next fight, and I love that stuff. You may want to advance with a different unit this time because you recognize that the unit behind him will take too much damage, and you can't afford to lose somebody, because when you lose somebody, that's kind of, they're gone. And so you have these really neat long-term choices that you're making, like macro choices you're making, or meta choices you're making in your macro combat, and that is cool. Or your micro combat, rather. Sorry, misspoke. It's like macro consequences to your micro decisions, and that is such a fun thing as a player, because you feel it when you make the right choice, because you feel it in the next combat, but you have to be thinking about the one after that. And so Kriegsfront scratches a really special itch for me as somebody who enjoys those types of games. But it's not just that. Kriegsfront executes combat incredibly well. One of the things that I think most tactics players enjoy, if the tactic game has bullets, is the concept of simulated bullets. One of the things that really bothers people about games like XCOM is percentage rolls. Hit or miss, it rolls a dice, and that's that, right? There's bonuses, it determines it, and hey, you missed the guy. Well, like other games that are popular in the genre, this has simulated bullets. And so there's a lot of complexity that comes with the concept of simulated bullets. For example, when you're aiming at a unit, and we'll talk about aimed shots in a second because I'm sure it's shown behind me how cool these things are. When you're playing with simulated bullets, positioning matters a lot. You may choose to purposefully line up two enemies or position yourself so they're in a line so that some of your bullets that miss hit the unit behind and do a little damage, which will allow you, in turn, to make the choice how you will advance and the side you will advance, because all the damage is positional. So if bullets hit a right arm and damage a gun and you can get rid of a gun, well, awesome. Maybe you respond to that because you're aiming at... If you're doing like snapshots, you're just shooting and you see what damage you do. And if you're doing aimed shots, you literally are going into the first-person view and you are aiming at specific body parts. And that is really, really fun. It's such a cool way to feel connected to the combat, to feel connected to the characters. It makes snipers really fun, but it also makes other units fun. It makes it fun to fire off shotgun-type weapons and all of those types of things. So there is a high degree of like personal connection as you're playing this game. It is awesome. So I'm just going to say that I highly recommend this game for anybody who enjoys advanced tactics games, anybody who enjoys meta-style contemplation when you are playing tactics games, where it's not just about the level you're playing, but it's about the levels beyond that. Let's talk about customization, because that connects to a lot of this. When you are customizing, when you are repairing, you are working off of pieces of equipment that you've either found on the battlefield or that you already have in your inventory, which means damaged pieces very often. So you'll find yourself in a garage swapping out pieces that are damaged for pieces that are less damaged, or you'll find yourself cannibalizing parts from maybe a unit that you know is going to be further out of combat, placing it on a unit that's going to be closer in combat. It is so interesting to kind of do this dance with inventory, and it's so fun because you feel the weight of your decisions again. You almost have an attachment to individual parts of mechs. You'll recognize, like, hey, I really need this shield, and it just took a lot of damage, and what are we going to do? How are we going to work with this? Oh no, my sniper rifle has taken a lot of damage. What am I going to do? Because I need this thing. How am I going to take care of this? Did I save a repair at this garage? No, I already used it. Oh no. Okay, so what pieces are we going to get? So you have this extreme customization that in itself is actually a game. It is where the game is won, it feels like, in this game. All the other movement and all that stuff is super important, but equipping and outfitting your units, putting extra plates of armor on different body parts instead of the ability to fire missiles, maybe you put on a rack that acts as armor onto a unit's shoulder because, hey, that arm has taken so much damage, you need to block some of those bullets. And those bullets will hit that rack, but you know what? If it hits the forearm, the arm still takes damage. And so it's like it has this amazing, interesting meta game. Oh, it is so wonderful and fun. And then this is one of the things that I've talked about a lot. And we'll talk about customization, but I've been talking about this a lot while I play XCOM, because people, while I play XCOM, which we're doing right now on the channel, we're doing a Legendary Iron Man run, is people always talk about, hey, have you played this game and that game? And I find one of the things that's really important to me as a player is aesthetic. And that's, gameplay is king, I get it. But when I'm playing a game like this, if I have to choose between a game that executes everything rightly and a game that executes everything rightly and is beautiful, I generally am going to pick the beautiful game because I get the same feeling, but this one's more fun to look at. And so there's all these great games that just aesthetically rub me the wrong way and I don't enjoy, right? And I'm always asked about games like Phoenix Point, and I'm like, yeah, Phoenix Point's so cool. I know it's so cool. Do I want to play through it? I don't know if I want to look at it that long. It's not that it's ugly, but then when I play it, I go, oh, I like the art direction of XCOM, and so I'll play some XCOM instead because they rub the same itch, right? And so Kriegsfront is unique and it's gorgeous. And so you also get the customization, as you've seen. Color customization, effect customization. You're taking body parts from mechs and bulking guys out and using heavy things and light things. The mechs take visual damage. You can do tons of customization, but it also visually shows what you're putting on them. And it looks good, and it feels good, and it's executed well. I think I love this game. And so this is just my quick first impression of the game. I mean, first impression, I've been playing it for the last week. I just don't want to spoil stuff for anybody because it's really fun. And the combat is just such an enjoyable and satisfying thing. As we talk about simulated bullets, like I had a scenario where I had an enemy surrounded and I needed to kill him, so I fired into him, and the bullets ended up killing him, and then the remainder of the bullets hit my unit behind and damaged my torso. And oh no, I needed that torso, and later I had that unit take even more damage in combat and was left with a sliver of health because of the damage I had done myself through bad planning. And so you have these things that just feel so advanced and so well executed. And so as Kriegsfront Tactics is just this, the Prologue in particular, is this really neat vertical slice of the game. Clearly they don't have all the mechs in. Clearly they don't have all the weapons. It's very simple, really straightforward. It is cool. Narratively, it's awesome. It's really neat. It has a lot of 90s. A lot of 90s cringe to it, but it's like the enjoyable flavor of cringe where it does seem self-aware, but not in an ironic way, just in a way that it just doesn't care because it wants to create kind of that PlayStation era vibe, right? And so this is just such an enjoyable project. So I highly recommend it. You should play it. You should download it the second it's available. If you're watching when this comes out, it'll be available in a couple days. If you're finding it after, it's already available. You should go to Steam and get it. And you should wishlist the core game, because if you like tactics games, if you like challenging games, if you like mech games, if you like narratives that are well, it's an alternate timeline, Southeast Asian 1970s. So if you like that type of drama, the kind of Full Metal Jacket, like cultural vibe, like this is a game for you and you should get it. So I am gonna cut this video, hang out with my family, and then sneak in a little more Kriegsfront because I really want to play more of this. So play Kriegsfront Tactics, please.